Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. We are still rebooking the Yes Movement in TEW 2020. We're up to part 6, another episode of Smackdown. So, with that, let's get into it. Right, so this was the previous episode of what happened on Raw. So we had Del Rio congratulating Ziggler after a win against Randy Orton. So retain the WWE World Heavyweight title. Orton and Jericho brawled to the back because Jericho had distracted Randy Orton during the match, allowing Ziggler to pick up the win. And then Del Rio raised his hand, was really clapping and cheering him on, and then turned on him, catching him in the his armbar submission. And that ended the show with a real beatdown of Ziggler there. So that sets up their Extreme Rules match. We also had the Outlaws shaking hands with the Usos, showing them some respect after the Usos got a one up on them. It didn't seem it was going to start that way, though, with Billy Gunn kind of disapproving of the situation of their loss, but Road Dogg talked him in and they shook hands in the end. Paul Heyman called out Triple H and kind of tried to keep his distance because Triple H had pedigreed him in the past. But Triple H was getting angry as Heyman kept going on about that Lesnar was going to destroy him. He was in his best shape ever. He'd never seen him so angry. And when Triple H got hold of him, Heyman, like the little weasel that he was, let slip that Lesnar will be on SmackDown, which we will be booking tonight. Wade Barrett has challenged Kofi Kingston to a match on SmackDown. Kane, well, in Barrett's eyes, he wants to soften him up even more for the Fatal 4-Way title unification match for the Intercontinental title and the United States title at Extreme Rules. Kane was backstage when Fandango and Summer Rae were sort of dancing and they knocked into him. Kane was furious and dragged Fandango down to the ring, totally snapped and put a beating on him. Mark Henry and the Big Show defeated Tons of Funk. Jericho promised to make Swagger his bitch, like he would Randy Orton. Give him such a beating that he will never, ever forget. And then he defeated him. Ryback defeated the Great Khali, and Legacy defeated the three-man band, who are now the two-man band, because Drew McIntyre's not associated with the stable anymore. And to start off the show, CM Punk came out with Bryan and Cena to call out the Shield. Paul Heyman came out before the Shield and told Punk that he's going to be in his corner at Extreme Rules when he faces Cena for the title. And he's got him out of this 3-on-3 match with the Shield, so it became a 3-on-2. Punk didn't seem too happy or like sure of what he was going to do, but he did follow Heyman in the end. And in a handicap match, Bryan and Cena lost to the Shield, which was the plan to give the Shield more popularity, build those three up, and then we'll have 3 more top workers. So then, let's get to SmackDown. Here we go. We've got a backstage incident. Del Rio and The Undertaker. Alberto Del Rio has been brought before Wrestle's Court, accused of being absorbed by his phone when he should have been paying attention to the locker room meeting. The Undertaker found him guilty and sentenced him to buy a crate of beer for the locker room. Del Rio has the scumbag personality and is currently happy. It had a small positive impact on Del Rio. Right then, let's get booking. So I'll catch you guys in a few moments. Hey guys, and we're back. So let's get back into SmackDown. So let's start the show, see what happens. On the pre-show, Sandow, McIntyre, and Joe Hennig get the win over Yoshitatsu, JTG, and Sin Cara. Then he gets a 47. AJ Lee and Alicia Fox gets a 50. AJ Lee getting the victory there. And the final match on the pre-show sees Legacy get a win over 2MB and Primo and Epico. They've got a 51. Alberto Del Rio speaks to the crowd before the show. He insults them. Obviously, he's a heel now. And he promises to break Ziggler's arm. It gets an 85. The face-to-face of Cena and Punk happens to open the show. They agree to face each other in a night quit match at Extreme Rules. And the main talking point of this, from a storyline purpose, is Heyman tries to take the mic to get involved, but Punk tells him that he doesn't need him to do so. He can do this one on his own, which obviously doesn't sit well. Got a 96. 62 here. Kane gets a win over Roman Reigns with a choke slam. This is obviously the two teams. We've also got Seth versus Daniel Bryan later on in the show. And after the match, the Shield obviously attack Kane, but Bryan comes out with a chair and chases them off. Wade Barrett defeats Kofi Kingston with a bullhammer and retains the Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, on Raw, he challenged Kofi to a match, and the Intercontinental Championship was put on the line. This was so Wade felt like he was going to soften up Kofi for their Fatal 4-Way at Extreme Rules. Next, we shoot backstage, and Chris Jericho and Randy Orton are brawling all over the place. It makes its way out to the ring and ends when Jericho hits a code breaker on Orton, who rolls out of the ring and crawls away with Jericho playing up to the crowd. These guys are going to face Extreme Rules as well. They also are in a tag match against each other in the main event. And The Miz and Sheamus get a win over Cesaro and Jack Swagger. That gets a 60 rating. The Big Show knocks out The Miz after the match while Sheamus is celebrating. Obviously, they can't do anything towards each other. Stephanie McMahon made that decree a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of shows ago even. So they just have a stare off and exchange some words. That gets a 78. Continuing from last week from the show on Raw, this time it's the New Age Outlaws who get a victory over the Usos, but they get a win. Billy Gunn gets the win with a handful of tights. Straight after the match, now the New Age Outlaws go for a handshake, but the Usos reject it. I've put Jack Swagger in instead of Jey Uso there, you can see at the top. So that's my bad. I didn't double check that. Oh well, these things happen. It should be Jey Uso. But that gets a 61. And we have the singles match of Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan. Seth Rollins gets the win after Roman Reigns interferes and hits a spear. Rollins then hits a curb stomp, and that gets an 81 rating, which is a really good match. Oh, and Daniel Bryan has debuted a new comeback spot. The crowd buzzing. His psychology will help by being able to use it as a spot. And Kane returns the favour as the Shield attack Bryan. Kane appears from under the ring and quickly clears house. Demon Kane has been summoned. And that gets an 82 going into the main event. And another 81 match. Obviously, I've still got Ricardo Rodriguez as a face, so that's a bit confusing for fans. I need to change that. And that gets an 81. And then to finish off the show, Triple H comes down, calls out Brock Lesnar, who also comes down to the ring. Um, Words are exchanged between Heyman and Triple H, and then Brock jumps Triple H out of nowhere, and a brawl ensues, which has to be broken up as the show comes to an end. So that's an 84, which again, that the shows just keep getting better and better. That's one higher than Raw, and we've improved in 29 regions. So that's great. Right, I'll be back in a second, guys. And we're back, so let's see what the fallout of Smackdown is. So we'll check our messages. Dolph Ziggler pointing out that Damien Sandow is very charismatic and is a future star. Ginger Mahal is a star in the making. The kid could make some serious money in the future. That was Ron Simmons. So we'll keep an eye on those two. Heath Slater needs time to heal. Alberto Del Rio. Daniel Bryan. Right. Let's have a look. And Del Rio's up to 73. That's obviously because of the win there. He was at 68 to start the month. So obviously someone, Ziggler or Jericho, has lost popularity from Orton and Del Rio getting that win. Cesaro's still at 50, but his poor gimmick's obviously going to be holding him back. Big Show's starting to move up to 71. Brock's still at 85. Use Broadus. Jericho is it 77? Is it 77? He started at 77, so he's only lost a little bit. I think he had gained from previous weeks, but obviously that loss hasn't really affected him that much. Christian hasn't. He's injured. Punk's up to 84. He started at an 82, so that's good. Cody is at 55. I think that's how he started. Bryan, I think he's definitely dropped. Yeah, he was at 76 at the start. I think I had him up to 78, but obviously he's just passed on some popularities to Seth Rollins. But I'm sure we can get Bryan back up. I'm not worried about that at all. Dean Ambrose is still at 65. Dolph's at 73. I'm sure he was higher than that. No, he was at 70, so that's good. Just start factoring in McIntyre soon. Evan Bourne. I haven't really been using these guys. Swagger's gone up to 51 in some areas. That's good. He is starting to improve. I think the Usos have gone up now because they were at 35, so it's up to a 38. That's good. Jimmy as well. Jinder Mahal's 20. I think Cena dropped because of the. Yeah, it was an 84. He dropped a little bit. I think he's gone back up. I think he dropped to an 82 on the after the Raw. He's come back up after his good performance in that promo. Kane definitely dropped before because he lost to Ambrose. But see if we can get Kane back up there because he's going to be feuding with Bryan soon. Spoiler alert. Kofi's up to 51. Mark Henry's still the same. Randy Orton is approaching 80. He was at 76, so yeah, that's great. He's going to be in the title picture going forward. Mysterio's injured. Roman Reigns is up to 60 now. He was at 55 to start with. Truth's still the same. Ryback's still the same. Seth's up to 65. That's great. He was at 55 before. Sheamus is he's improved as well. He started at 66. He's up to 67. I think The Miz lost though to Barrett, so that's why he dropped. Yeah, he was at 70. He's at 66. He's charismatic enough. Just put him in some angles. He'll definitely get back up there. Barrett went up. I think she restarted at 60. He's up to 66 now. That obviously that win over the Miz really helped. That yeah, he's definitely shot up 66. And I haven't really used those guys so much. Just a here and there. So popularity's rising all the time. Did Daniel Bryan? I don't think he was at 92 for psychology, still the same. So it might be a slight improvement, like a 0.5 or something like that. But yeah, let's have a look at the storylines just quickly. Didn't do anything with the Divas on there, other than the pre-show. Intercontinental Championship at 69 there. A bit of a dip, but it's still above the 65. The contenders are at 60. That's good. Obviously we need to get 65. The Legends obviously is still at 83, which is great. The unified tag team titles, obviously Bryan and the Shield and Kane in there is obviously going to help that. WWE Championship is at 84, which is great. And the next in line group are 82. So everything's going well. Everybody's improving. I'm still confident that by the next pay-per-view, we should be averaging high 80s to low 90s for matches. So let's see if my predictions are right. As this popularity for the top guys keeps rising, and then we can try and figure out how we get the lower guys involved more. But I have plans, so we'll see how it goes. I just want to thank you again, everyone who's made it this far in the video. Everyone who's subscribed, liked, comes back and watches the videos. I really appreciate it. I'm really enjoying this this process, and the amount of views that I'm getting is amazing. So thank you very much. And I hope to be back soon. It'll be Friday. I'm going to try and get a couple of videos recorded and put out. And then hopefully some early next week as well. So hope you look forward to that. I'll catch you later, guys. Stay safe. Bye.